It is Wednesday and I finished The God and the Kumaho. If you didn't watch last week's vlog, this is in paranormal urban fantasy, which is populated with characters from Korean folklore. Our male protagonist is Soka, who is the trickster god. And our female main character is Hani, who is the scarlet fox, and she is a kumaho, which is a nine-tailed fox who kumahos basically steal men's souls and eat their livers, which is gross and not something that I usually do well with. But I, for some reason, did okay with, because I kept thinking she's just a fox. I started this last week. It's taken me, obviously, most of this week or half of this week to finish it off. I really enjoyed it for the most part. It is a first book in a duology. And I'm really, really happy that I did not read the synopsis of the second book in the duology before I finished reading this book. So if you are interested in it, I would not read the synopsis because it definitely spoils this book. Oh, so much. I ended up giving this a 4.3. Soka is basically being punished because he tried to overthrow his brother and take over being the main god. And so he has been banished and he has to go live with the mortals until he can basically redeem himself by getting rid of the unruly creatures that he unleashed from the underworld to be his army to overthrow his brother. So he has to get rid of 20,000 of them. And he's not even halfway there. So, and it's been hundreds of years already. So he's got a long way to go. So he is irritable and cranky and he's by himself. He has no friends. The only thing that makes his life even bearable is his love of coffee. So Hani, our kumaho, works in a coffee shop and that is where their paths cross. The only problem is he's been mean to her and tried to get her fired, and so she goes out of her way to always make his order wrong to piss him off. Now, Hani is a very famous kumaho, the Scarlet Fox. She kind of went above and beyond in her soul-stealing role in the 1880s in London, around the time that Jack the Ripper was active. She claims it was because she was hunting him down and she just happened to kill a lot of people while she was looking for him. So because of her, the gods have changed the rules about what kumahos can and cannot do. And so she's basically been in hiding for 100 years. This book takes place in the 90s. So there's quite a few references to 90s fashion and beauty and things like that. It's quite amusing. She's in hiding. She's lying about her age to make herself younger than the Scarlet Fox would be. She's working in this coffee shop. She's been very bad with money, so she's in debt. She's living in a horrible apartment, and she's befriended this very young kumaho who is basically doesn't know what it's like to be a kumaho because Hani has ruined it for all of them because the rules got changed and they can't steal souls because of Hani. And so one night, Hani is in a threatening situation with some men, and she does the only thing that she thinks that she can do, and she steals their souls and takes their livers. And because she's eaten so many livers, she can't eat anymore. She's full. She takes the livers to her coworker who has never had them before and encourages her to eat them. And this sets off a string of events of very bad things that are going to happen. Ironically, at the same time, that other bad things are happening, and so it's the perfect storm. Because one of the unruly things that has been unleashed when our trickster god was creating his army and releasing them is now here in the mortal world and is doing really, really bad things. So he is charged by his brother, the main god, to capture this unruly thing and get rid of it, and to also get rid of the scarlet fox once and for all. Now Hani overhears this conversation, and of course she doesn't want him to get rid of the scarlet fox because getting rid of the scarlet fox would mean she'd be dead, and she doesn't want that. So she's trying to figure out what's she going to do. And she overhears that Sokka's boss at the police station, because he's assigned to the police station as his job, his cover, to get rid of these unrulies, his boss has decided that he should hire him an assistant to help him with paperwork because that might make things go faster for him. So she decides that she's going to be his assistant so that she can embed herself in the investigation, and therefore he won't be able to catch her. It's a great plan. And what follows is her becoming his assistant, their investigation, her becoming really, really essential to him, his right hand, and of course they're falling in love. And so ultimately this is them resolving the challenge from Sokka's brother. And, oh, I forgot to say, his brother's reward for him for completing these challenges is that his banishment will end. He will become a god again, and he will get to go back to his palace, and he won't have to stay with the mortals any longer. This type of paranormal urban fantasy is one of my favorites, if not my favorite type of fantasy. I love the Ben Aronovich, oh my gosh, that was hard to say, Ben Aronovich series, The Rivers of London, which is paranormal police officers and keeping mortals safe from these otherworldly beings. So similar parallels there. That series is 9 books long now. I'm all caught up with it. I think it was the 9th book this year that I read. And I hope he's continuing to write them. I know that he's moved more into graphic novels. I'm not sure if he's going to write another novel. This is just going to be a duology so far. There's going to be a time jump from the 90s to 2018, I believe. That is when the last chapter takes place. I think in this book is 2018. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. I feel like I need to read the next one because I really like this one, but I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. That is all I will say about that. But I like Sophie Kim's writing. I liked her characters. And I loved learning more about Korean folklore. And I'm just a little devastated by the ending. Not gonna lie. Really not gonna lie. A little devastated by the ending. Which you're supposed to be, right? If you're not. I am flying to Los Angeles on Friday for an excellent reason. Very exciting reason. I have had my book collection in storage for several years in Los Angeles, and it is coming home this weekend. But it is going to be a very long weekend to move that home. And I don't know that I'm going to have a lot of reading. I will have a lot of reading time when I fly down. So I will be reading a lot in the airport on Friday because I have to do the typical fly to read. I fly to Phoenix before I get to Los Angeles, and I have a layover. So I will do a lot of reading in the airport on Friday. Saturday will be a very busy day getting boxes loaded into the truck, and then I'm driving back with the boxes on Sunday, so we'll listen to an audiobook, no reading on Sunday. And then the boxes have to be unloaded here, and then Ariana will be home all next week because she will be home for the Thanksgiving holiday. And I'm hoping that I'll do a lot of reading with my downtime because I took the entire week off work. But she was just home and we did a lot of fun things while she was home. Obviously, we did a lot of book shopping while she was home last time, which was all captured. But we do want to go back to the lake. We do want to go to Kappa again. And we might do some work at Kappa this time. So we want to go back there. We want to work there this time. And I don't think I've ever said this. We have an Etsy store that we've had for a while. And the biggest thing on our Etsy store is page flags that have been very popular, but we are not continuing with the page flags. So we will be looking to do stickers and bookmarks probably moving forward. So one of the things that we're planning on doing when she's home this week is figuring that out, and already have one company potentially to produce things for us, and so we're going to figure that out fully. And then we had been doing seasonal things to begin with, and we still have 2 seasons up. We have an old winter and summer design of page flags that are still up there. We have quite a bit of stock left on, so those have been sort of perpetually up. But we haven't had a seasonal thing up for quite a while, so we are hoping to get a Christmas design up for at least bookmarks. So we will be working on that this week, next week as well, when she's here. So that is the plan for next week. And so I'm hoping that at least reading will get done as well, because there won't be any day job being done at that time. And that is it. So yeah, and I also need to figure out what I'm going to read tomorrow on planes and layovers and get that all taken care of. So that is where we are at this week. So you will hear from me again when I have an update on what I'm reading. It is Saturday. I almost forgot. This will be a quick update. I did finish Expectant Detectives yesterday on Friday. We'll probably not talk about that now. I really need to just go in and take a shower. I'm pretty exhausted. I'm in Ariana's apartment, so this is all completely different site, etc. She's at work right now. I missed having my books, and so before the weather turned really bad this year, I decided that I would move them myself. So I rented a truck, and I flew down here yesterday and picked up the truck this morning. And I really did not, I thought, oh, I'll get a van. I really didn't think it was that many boxes that were there. Good thing they told me no on the van, that they didn't have any available, and they gave me a small moving truck because I filled it up full of boxes. I really did not think there were that many books that were in that storage facility. The bad news was at some point last year, they had a really bad storm and the roof leaked, and several of my boxes got damaged and some books were ruined and are moldy. So I have to figure out if I don't even know if there's a clause that says they're not liable for things that are weather related. I don't know. I have to figure that out. But I took a bunch of pictures and video. There was nothing exciting today to videotape in me doing this except for me laboring ridiculously moving boxes into a truck. And tomorrow we will be driving the truck back. And hopefully the weather will be good enough for us to get home and everything will go smoothly. So right now I've ordered some food and I'm going to take a shower and relax for the rest of the evening. All right, I've eaten, I am clean, all is right in the world. And what did I think of the Expectant Detectives when all was said and done? I had some problems with it, not going to lie. Overall, I felt like it was engaging and funny and a little, different than a lot of fish out of water. City person moves to the country and decides to get involved in a murder, cozy mystery kind of a plot. So plus marks for all of that. But my problems with it are more with Alice's partner, Joe, who is definitely gaslighting her through a large portion of the book while she is 9 months pregnant with their child. And that isn't really addressed when his secret, I hate that air quote, when his secret finally comes out and is exposed, and it's not that much of a secret. He could have told her this all along and would really have mattered. And was it really worth gaslighting your pregnant partner over? And she just lets him get away with it. So she definitely expresses doubts about him when she realizes he's keeping a secret. She definitely realizes that she's now going to be tied to this person who she's only known for around a year for the rest of her life. And she doesn't really know him. But feeling that way, that you don't really know this person and you're going to be tied to them for the rest of your life, and having these doubts about them, he's gaslighting you. You don't really call that out. You don't call it out at all. Not really. You don't call it out at all. And then when he's forced to bring you into his secret, you still don't confront him with why his behavior was inappropriate to your relationship. So I think that was problematic. I am going to give it kind of wavering between 3.5 and 4 stars. I don't think Joe and Alice's relationship impedes the overall flow of the book. I think that there are some points about Aile's writing that doesn't quite click with me. Some of her phrasing, a little bit about her wording style that I find awkward. So it could never be a 5-star for me, but I will probably read the next one in the series. And it took me longer to read, though, than I would expect a book of this type to take me. So I found that curious as well. Now for the rest of the evening, while I wait for Ariana to get home, I am going to start on Anna Downs' Red River Road. And I don't really know a lot about this. This was Creepy Book Club book of the month for October that I have not gotten around to reading yet. It is set in Australia, and basically the main character is looking for her sister, her younger sister, who was out doing solo van life and went missing without a trace. So our main character is out there looking for her and meets another woman who she joins forces with, but doesn't really know if she trusts her based upon the synopsis. So I'm going to start this, see how far I get. I'm actually more awake than I thought I would be, so that's a good thing, but I don't want to stay up too late because we do have a long drive ahead of us tomorrow. I'm rather confused by the weather because I'm hearing reports that the weather is very, very bad at home, but when I check the actual weather forecast, it shows there's nothing going on, and when I check the cameras in my house, it looks fine. So it's very confusing. I hope it doesn't mean that it's going to hit in the middle of the night and then there will be road issues in the morning and during the day tomorrow. So fingers crossed for that. And since it's Saturday night, this will be the last check-in probably for this vlog. Yeah, so I'm going to read now. And with that, we had about a 10-hour drive home when all was said and done, with stops and things along the way. So by the time we got there, I was a little too tired to record an outro. So for this week, tell your pets I said hello, and thanks for reading with me, and I'll see you next time.